Oh, and we are live. Look at that. Hello, everybody. It is I, the host with the most, the one and only Mag McClegg, bringing you another episode of It's Morphin Time podcast, which is being represented by Epicon 2017. Get your tickets for it now. We will be live, and we will be doing a live podcast at the panel for Epicon this year. So be there or be square.
What's good, everybody? This is your friendly neighborhood admin, aka Talos Gundam. And as always, this podcast is brought to you by Nightmare Inc. If you want anything promoted out there at any given time, all the good things that you got going on, don't hesitate to hit us up. We do all promotions, flyers, everything else you need. So, come look for us. I am Talos Gundam, as always.
And for all your Sport Time podcast merchandise, go to TeePublic. We got shirts, we got posters. Manufactured now. But go there, that's all. And of course, I am the probably over-caffeinated, the vaguely uncensorable, and one of the best hosts you have here, Eric the Wild Red Ranger.
And he's talking about us stroking our egos the last podcast.
Yep.
Alrighty, guys. So we got a lot of topics for you tonight on this very special late night showing of It's Morphing Time podcast.
Late night with More Time podcast, except you can keep your pants on this time.
I don't know. With some of these topics, you might just want to keep your pants off.
Well, I know like anyone can tell if I have my pants on or not.
We don't even need to know that.
No one asked, but I don't care.
Right. Our first topic of the day is Ultra Zord. What qualifies in our eyes to be an Ultra Zord? So who wants to kick this one off?
Okay.
Oh, by the way, Danielle, there you are. I see you there. It's August the 19th for Epicon.
I can't see who's viewing it right now, or I can't see the chat.
Alrighty. So, with that being said, Melvin, let's have you kick it off. What is your classifications of an Epic Ultra Zord?
Excuse me one moment as I take over everything real quick. Yeah. We're not gonna just do this usual style round robin because this is a heavy topic. This is not just something that we can just talk about versus side. Now,
well, this is a heavy topic for no real reason.
It's no. I'm saying it's like we can usually have a.
No, I'm saying like it is a big deal like in the community for no real reason. There is no point that this discussion should be such a big thing.
Well, if you let Melvin get to what he was saying, it is a big deal in the community. If it wasn't a big deal, we wouldn't be talking about it right now.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the thing. Here's the reason why I say we're not going to do it the usual way that we normally do a topic is because the way this was asked of us, the way it was brought to me to bring to us, is something that we're gonna, this is gonna be heavy. So I want y'all to understand you're probably gonna be on this topic for a minute. So, okay. Here's the thing. For those of y'all that don't know, that are wondering why we got this topic, it was brought up because of our Megazord March Madness, where we had a couple of Zords that people felt were not classified as Ultra Zords. Now, the usual standard classification that we as fans gave an Ultra Zord, not really what Saban gave Ultra Zords, not really what Toei gave Ultra Zords. The standard was, hey, the Ultra Zord is the last Zord they're ever going to get. It's the biggest one of them all, which is second thing of the classification. It's usually the most powerful one that doesn't get beat because it's the one that usually ends up beating the massive army at the end before they drop out and go into their original Zord to beat the final bad guy.
Though I think there's some like some exceptions, like they get destroyed along with everything else in the final episode.
Yeah, that happens too. Like, there are some exceptions for that situation, but pardon me, but the thing is, it was said, folks, that some of the Zords are not really Ultra Zords. Case in point, first one. Ain't Megazord. It said not to be an Ultra Zord. Second one, Super Zeo Megazord. Because we kind of technically said it was two Ultra Zords fighting. Even though Super Zeo Megazord has almost damn near the power of an Ultra Zord, as they said, it was not an Ultra Zord. Manticore.
Manticore was pretty heavy.
I'm just naming a few of ones that we got because there are several others that were not even added that we didn't have up there that people were talking about on the pages that I go on. And they were all saying, hey, no, those are not Ultra Zords by technical account. Because, and I feel like, to me, folks, you're getting Ultra Zord and Carrier Zord mixed up. That's what I feel like. And with some cases, some folks are. Because on technical accounts, you could only classify Super Train as a Carrier Zord, not a true Ultra Zord. Because if you look at it, Omega Zord, the Omega Zord would be the Ultra Zord. If we go by fan classification. So that's technically it. Y'all can chime in. You know, I'm talking, but y'all can chime in anytime.
I know.
I have nothing to really say because the whole thing of like, is it an Ultra Zord or is it not? I don't care much about it. It seems kind of like really, as I said, I feel like it is pointless. Like this is a big thing.
Okay, so like I did forget about Carrier Zords. Yes, the Super Train Megazord would classify as I want to say he's the first hybrid.
Yeah, that's how I look at it. I feel like he's the first hybrid, if anything. I feel like
he's the first hybrid of a Carrier Zord and an Ultra Zord. Well, no, not really, because if you go back and think about it, the first one would be technically the Ultra Zord. The one with Titanus.
Yeah.
Titanus, the original Megazord.
Yeah, Titanus.
Because it's like, what really does classify as an Ultra Zord? Is it when all the Megazords are combining together to make one big Megazord? Or is it like, okay, this is our biggest Megazord, this is our strongest Megazord?
Yeah, the strongest of them all.
Yeah, basically, would it be the one that would be the last one? Would it be the one that combines everything, or would it be?
Because technically, and like in RPM and Samurai, their Ultra Zords are when they combined all their Zords together.
They tell you that they're the Ultra Zords. Now, I feel like I know where this kind of comes from because in some of the series, you don't hear the word Ultra Zord mentioned, or you don't hear the word Carrier Zord mentioned. when those certain stories come up, like they used to, and then they got back to it with samurai and stuff and going forward. Like they got it mentioned again, and it was like, okay, yeah, we know what's defined as an Ultra Zord because it has the name in there, but
right.
It for some of the ones kind of all in the middle, you don't really know what is an Ultra Zord, what isn't.
Right.
I mean,
the pre-Neo Saban era doesn't have them labeled as Ultra Zords. They're just, this is the something Zord. It wasn't until the Neo Saban era with Samurai did we get the classification of these are Ultra Zords because they're combined all together.
Yep, exactly.
And so with that being said, there is one where I believe that the Ultra Zord of that got this whole topic discussed about was Manticore. I do believe Manticore should be classified as a Ultra Zord. Yes, did we have the White Phoenix Sword? I think it was the last one that came out after that one. Yes, we did. Was it awesome? Yes. Was it as powerful as the
Manticore?
No. Yeah. I don't think it was as powerful as Manticore, and I think Manticore is Mystic Force's Ultra Zord. That's what the biggest topic was, because the biggest fight amongst the fans was when Dragon Zord went up against Manticore. The reason why Dragon Zord won was because Dragon Zord was fighting another Megazord. In a lot of people's eyes, they don't see the Manticore as a Ultra Zord. They see it as a regular Megazord. So that's why Dragon Zord stomped all through it.
And also
because it wasn't an Ultra Zord.
And also too, they felt like with the other fight, they felt like when Dragon Zord was fighting with Super Train, they were like, hey, Super Train is not really an Ultra Zord. Super Train's a Carrier Zord. So,
but yet it's still a strong Zord on its own. Why does the title really change that?
Why does the title change it?
Yeah, because Manticore, yes, you don't consider it an Ultra Zord, but it's still the last and the strongest they have.
The reason being that the title kind of defines it, just like we talked about before. It also draws into the wiki, and it also draws into the actual status level of the Zords. Like, if Toei and Saban were actually cataloged and put into place, hey, these Zords are the strongest. These Zords, this is the weakest. This is that, and the third. Not even based on fan power, because we know who was at the top on fan power. But based on who and what is their actual power levels would be, Ultra Zords sit off higher in a class of their own, because technically with an Ultra Zord, and a regular Megazord should not be able to touch it. A regular Megazord should not be able to really do damage.
Right. That's why a lot of people were like questioning. Like, I did get a lot of questions of why we had a Carrier Zord, because there was some fans that asked us why the Carrier Zord won the Megazord when it shouldn't have won it, but it did. It wasn't me. It was the votes. But in all actuality, that's like saying that's like calling the Pyramidas, which is the Gold Zeo Rangers Pyramid Zord, is not classified as an Ultra Zord when it combines with the rest of the Megazords to form Pyramidas, which is...
Yeah, and see, technically, that's another issue that came up, because Pyramidas was brought up. Pyramidas technically has, which I have to say, both classifications, because when Pyramidas is laying down and has all Zords on top of it, it's a Carrier Zord. It still is more so a
right
in that form. When it stands up and all the other Zords are behind it, basically like batteries in a backpack, and you have that other
Right.
Battle Zord on top with the cannons helping to fire off. Technically, then, and I have to say this to y'all, technically, then it's an Ultra Zord, but it's also a carrier Zord. And then too, that's the reason why I say there are classifications that really and truly I say Toei and Saban should have set, because a lot of people feel certain Zords shouldn't be able to be others. That's the reason why. That's the main reason why this topic came up. It feels like certain Zords shouldn't be able to be others, and I understand, where those fans come from. I do. I understand where those fans come from. The only thing is, if we have to, we have only what we have to go on by all technical accounts. We have to go on what fan base is really, really set. And that would be that the last Zord that shows up, either the last Zord or the most powerful Zord that shows up would be the Ultra Zord. That's just saying. Or we would have to say, hey, some shows did not get an Ultra Zord. Some shows did not get a Carrier Zord. But we know this not to be true, because at least I've heard, for the most part, I know on Toys In, that every Super Sentai had a Ultra Zord. So that would mean I know that everything that Saban got has an Ultra Zord. We just don't know what's an Ultra Zord.
Well, here's something I kind of want to throw in, because I'm looking through the wiki now to see like the Zords, like what their actual names are. And what about the Samurai Gigazord?
That's technically an Ultra Zord.
Yeah, Samurai Gigazord would technically be an Ultra Zord.
But Gigazord is just another name for Ultra Zord.
Yeah.
Saban was trying new things out, and Ultra sounded a little too 90s.
Yeah, so they went
with Giga.
They were trying to put different names to stuff. But that's something, like I said to all the people out there, that's something I kind of agree with you all on. Like, I know how you feel. I know, it's kind of confusing, and I kind of wish that I would want to do it, but see, I don't want to do it right. I wish there was a major fan that was just like, okay, hey, I have enough time. I could pop in on the wiki and actually set this stuff in the correct order. Or somebody who works for Saban or somebody who works under Toei just hops on and just like, hey, yeah, fans deserve to know this stuff about their Rangers, this stuff about the Zords they pilot. Let me put this in perspective and actually put the stuff up there the way it should.
Well, I don't think a wiki should be for that. You need like an actual database where you have a set authority going on and being able to make it and being able to edit it, unlike with wikis where you can edit anything you want.
Yeah, something like that. One more like that.
I mean, an official signed and sealed by Saban and all the people like on the higher up say, yes, this is how it is. So there's no contest.
Yeah.
Right. It's like somebody somebodies should get together and make a certain guidebook to all these Rangers and Megazords and weapons and stuff. I just, there's like 3 people on the top of my tongue. I just can't.
Really? Those 3 people don't have. Those 3 people just happen to be in a Google Hangouts chat live. Really? What a coincidence! I would have never guessed.
All right, so yes, that was my shameless plug. Shameless throwing that out there. Yes, I would like to throw this. I would like to throw this topic in because a fan came up to me yesterday and was talking to me about Toku and wanted me to bring it up in Toku that what would be the best way to start, if somebody's brand new coming in, what Toku show would you recommend them watching to get them invested into any tokusatsu? So, Eric, how about you? We're gonna start off with you.
Well, the small bit of tokusatsu I've seen, because I haven't been doing much of watching that recently. I honestly would say go Kaiser, because it's one of the anniversary seasons, and it does the setup. Well, the theme of it is pretty good, but also you can get a general theme of what each series is like. So if you're trying to get into Sentai, you can understand. Okay, I'm into kung fu fighting. Hey, I'm kind of liking like Geki Ranger has kung fu fighting. So hey, let's check that out.
So you would set them down the route of Super Sentai Toku.
Well, as far as if they were more curious on that.
Okay, all right. What about you, Melvin? What would you recommend to somebody who wants to get into any kind of tokusatsu? What would you recommend to them to start them off?
First of all, the first thing I would recommend, being a Toku head myself, first thing I would recommend would honestly either be Ultraman or a Kamen Rider episode. I wouldn't drop them into Super Sentai, because dropping them into Super Sentai is one of those few things that, while Super Sentai is not high on the quote unquote graphics meter, it is one of the ones that will definitely break, like, break you on Toku. Especially if you've never watched Toku before and you start on.
Right.
It's definitely one of the ones that will break you, and because Garo, and I say both of them right now, like those two would definitely be. Would definitely be that, okay, hey, I don't know if I really want to continue this, especially if you just brand new. Like, it would be one of the ones that you just like, hey, yeah, I don't know if I want to continue this.
Right, which is kind of how we did Eric, because Eric at first was like, what's the big deal about Super Sentai? And then cocaine hit him.
Like, the thing is, I mean, you went over to the counterpart of one of yours basically you went over to the Japanese counterpart of your American favorite. And the thing is,
I was expecting, something I would actually, like and get into.
I would not.
That's not the case.
I don't recommend that. Like, that's one of the few things I definitely don't recommend. Like, especially if you're American heavy and you have never really seen any of the Japanese stuff, like, nah. I would not ever recommend that. Like, I can't just recommend that. Knowing what I know now, nah, I wouldn't recommend that.
Right. Okay, so like with mine, I'm actually gonna go. I would actually tell the person that wants to start off in Toku and wants to start watching Toku Sentai, which I would go with what I started off with, which is Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2. That movie just about has everything. It has a good plot, story to it. And I'm talking about the one that came out, I believe, in the 70s or the 60s.
I mean, I like that idea. Don't get me wrong. I'm a heavy G fan. I'm a heavy King Kaiju fan. But the only reason why I wouldn't give them Godzilla is because even though most Americans, I have to say it, y'all wrong on this. Most Americans don't consider Godzilla Toku. They don't really know that it's Toku. But
what?
For those of us that do know,
Godzilla's the originator of Toku.
For most people do know, hey, yeah, it's Toku. That's Toku. So
yeah,
Like
I was gonna say even the people on the Toku side know that Godzilla is the one that originated the Toku genre itself back in the 40s. I think it was when the first Godzilla came out. But this one, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, improved everything on Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. This one had more story. This one had more action to it. And this time around, when Godzilla ripped off the head of Mechagodzilla, because this is back in the day, it ripped off the head. He had a little alien-like orb there, and it continued to fight Godzilla until finally Godzilla put him down. The other one, this is a honorable mention. Also would recommend it to anybody. Would be Godzilla Shin and Godzilla 2000. Those two.
You can't just have one thing in a section, like one topic. You can't just have a topic where it's like one thing. It's always one and then something else you have to plug in.
Well, I'm giving them multiples of choices because, like, really, all honestly, yes, Kamen Rider is good. It'll get you into the superhero, but there is so much more to, and that's what a lot of fans of who want to get into Toku think is Toku is nothing but superheroes. It's nothing but Kamen Riders, Ultramans, and Super Sentai. The Japanese Power Rangers, as some people who are trying to get into Toku will call them. They won't call them Super Sentai. They'll just call them Japanese Power Rangers. Well, Toku is so much more than the superhero genre. I mean, it goes into kaiju. There are so many kaiju movies out there that and wreck everything. Like, one of the biggest arguments in Toku is, could Godzilla take out Daijujin? Could the King of Monsters take out a god? And that's been going on since Daijujin was introduced.
And to answer that question, yes. Godzilla could take out Daijujin. Godzilla could take out any Megazord. Which is why, Eric, I was telling you, like, okay, on any level, how that whole, when me and you had this whole talk about the whole thing of Voltron beating the Megazord, in which which a lot of American fans were like you. They were like, "No, that's not possible. That shouldn't happen." I'm
perfectly fine with that. I mean, that was okay.
The thing is that, like I said, you have those beings who are on multiverse level. Godzilla is on multiverse level. Godzilla doesn't ever really die. Every time you kill one off, there's another one that's being born at the same time. So even when Godzilla is threatened to die at a certain point, if one is not ready yet, that one revives.
And Godzilla goes out like a boss. Every time he gets close to die, he melts down. He's a nuclear reactor, and he melts down, and he's basically an atomic bomb when he's about to die.
So that's the reason why I say, like, legit. For anybody that's out there, even if you're a Super Sentai fan, most of us do know. He's not like Godzilla is on a whole nother scale. Like King Kaiju is on a whole nother scale. Matter of fact, King Kaiju himself he's way larger. I know most folks be like, okay, now they pull him up the scale. No. If we pull him actual height, a Megazord doesn't even come to the knee, if you will.
Right.
Like Gundams just barely come to the knee on Godzilla.
No, Gundams don't even come to a knee. Gundams barely come to the toe.
There's one now that is out. There's a Gundam now. It's so huge as far as the universe goes. Like it can't land on any planet. This Gundam has to stay.
Oh, wow.
This Gundam has to stay in space. It floats through space. Every time it comes to a planet, it's almost like I would say maybe about. It's like take Jupiter as a Gundam and make it full robot. It can't land anywhere. It has other Gundams inside of it, and everything else. It's like a full-on not Gundam carrier. And that Gundam is about the tallest Gundam, and that Gundam is the only one that comes up to Godzilla's knee. That's it. Like, that's the only Gundam that comes up to Godzilla's knee.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right, so our next topic that we're going on, and again, that was a good topic to suggest to me. So yes, the titles of the shows that we gave you here on this show is a great way to introduce you or introduce your fan into the world of tokusatsu. So our next one is top three best and worst Black or Green Rangers.
Well, place your bets on who's going to be on Talos and Magma's list.
All right. Since you threw out my name, I'll go out first.
Both your names.
Yeah. So my number three for worst would have, and I say Black and Green because those two switch colors so much. It's
Yeah, I understand.
All right, so mine would be Black Megaforce. Jake. No, he's not like super bad, but he's not like super good either. He's okay. That's why he's only number 3. My number two would have to be Trip from Time Force. One of the he was useless. He was kind of useless. Boys, he was there, and a lot of times he acted as the how you say, damsel in distress kind of way, or he was just there just to be there. And then my number 1 worst Green or Black Ranger goes to Carlos from Power Rangers in Space. Okay, you are so bad that my number 1 has to step in and train you and tell you you're a Power Ranger. You've got this. You've got the power. You have the confidence. Dude, why are you not confident when you was a Turbo Ranger before this? You've been in the war. You've been fighting these monsters. And all of a sudden, just because you hurt somebody by accident, you hurt one of your teammates by accident, you lose all confidence in your ability? Dude, that's not the first time you've done that. It's actually the second. You've done it now. Twice have you done it. You didn't give any hoots. But this time, that's why Carlos, the Black in Space Ranger, is my number 1 worst. All right, so with my number 3 pick for my best, number 3 would have to be Xander from Big Force. I actually like Xander. He was decent, and he was a breath of fresh air to a very somewhat dull cast of characters. Somewhat, not all of them, but a lot of times they felt really dull, and I was just kind of hoping the episode would get over with.
Yeah, kind of how I felt with that Ranger.
All right, and then the second best Black or Green Ranger, I would have to give to Cam. Cam is the Green Hurricane Ranger from the Green Hurricane Samurai Ranger from Ninja Storm. And he was the tech guy. He was just about everything for Ninja Storm. And then he went back in time and saved his parents and fought alongside his parents and did this and that to prove that he was worthy of the orb. And then he comes back and his suit is so awesome. He's got this heavy ass shield on him.
It is no exaggeration.
He breaks it loose, flips the mask, and it's go time. When he flips that mask, you know your ass is done. You know your ass is done. All right, my number one best Black or Green Ranger has to go to Adam Park, a.k.a. the Mighty Morphin Black Mastodon Ranger, a.k.a. Green Zeo, a.k.a. Green Turbo, a.k.a. Johnny Young Bosch. The man has done it all. He's right there with Tommy. He has one of the most appearances throughout the show. He has reappeared, not as much as Tommy, but he's reappeared multiple times, and he does so much good work within the show and without of the show, with everything from Eyeshine to going to conventions to him basically teaching Adam, the Black in Space Ranger. Man the hell up. Man the hell up. You are a Power Ranger for a reason. Stop acting like a little bitch. And that's all I have to say with my top three best and worst. Who wants to go next?
Let Eric go. No.
All right, Eric. Best and worst Green and Black Ranger.
Crucify me for a third worst. Honestly, and this is, I'm going back to what I said in like a previous episode. There's a large margin between 3 and 2 because with Power Rangers, I haven't seen a lot of the seasons that have a Green or Black Ranger. So, but number 3 is Tommy Oliver when he was a Green Ranger. Because that is for me, that's for me just the fan power behind it. I'm salty about it just because he is without a doubt the fan god. And yes, that's the only reason why he's 3. I like him better in Dino Thunder when he's the Black Ranger. He's not going to make the list for the top 3 though, so sad about that. But yeah, as I said, there's a large margin between 3 and 2 though.
All right, so what are your other 2 for worst, and what are your other 3 for best?
My second worst is Danny from Wild Force. Because most of it's on Wild Force and how no one really gets any good time except for Cole. But also the actor really just made it hard. It made it hard for me to really feel like what emotion Danny was feeling. It always felt a bit more monotone. And my worst for Green/Black is the Super Samurai Green Ranger.
Okay.
And that's kind of like, for me, most of Super Samurai and Samurai is kind of dull with their characters. There's only 2 characters I really like, and that's Red and Antonio for Silver. Or not Silver, Gold. Wow, that's messed up.
Okay. All right. So,
Now-
what is your three best?
My numbers, well, I need to put honorable mention for best, and that's going to be Black RPM Dylan.
Okay.
Because for one, I really like him. I like his character overall, and I like the friendship between him and Ziggy. Now,
Okay.
number 3 is going to be Xander. Charismatic,
Awesome. Awesome.
yeah, charismatic, funny, and his ego gets the best of him sometimes, but like with all Power Rangers, he learns from it and he betters himself. Second one, Bridge from SPD. Yeah, I'm right with that. Bridge is the Green Ranger for SPD.
Mhm.
He is the Green Ranger for SPD.
Yeah. Bridge is... It's just kind of like a very fun, interesting character. He's smart. He's smart to the point of anyone sees him as crazy, and of course you gotta love him and his handstands for sinking.
Right.
And my number one Green/Black Ranger is Ziggy. Green RPM.
He was RPM's Green.
And I like him a lot, partially because, one, he's basically any one of us if we were Rangers. If we were put into a Ranger position, we'd be more like Ziggy. We'd be incompetent, but learning to go with it. But I also like Ziggy because he's the guy who seems like he talks more than he fights. But you see that he's not a coward. You see that he does have a good heart.
Right. Okay. I like it.
Ready to stick me to a wall with a Gundam scythe?
All right, tell us, what are your three worst and what are your three best?
Okay, as far as like legit, I don't really have a three worst or best. I'm gonna give you just my worst and my best.
Okay.
My worst Ranger, as far as green or black, I'd say as far as worst goes, yeah, I give worst to in space Ranger.
Thank you.
I don't really, the only reason why I give him worse is because to me, he was a little, it was like, okay, that episode was a little irritating to me because you had more confidence as a Turbo Ranger, but you couldn't, you felt humbled as Space Ranger. Nah, I really don't see it. And as far as my best Ranger goes, I actually have to give it to Johnny. I give it to Johnny Young Bosch. I give it to him.
Woo! Yes.
The only reason I'm giving it to him, as far as being a Black Ranger itself, is because of the In Space episode. Other than that, there are other Rangers. I mean, he has done a whole lot more work outside of being a Ranger, but yeah, as far as being that Ranger, I mean, like, that episode kind of puts him on the map for me for that. So yeah.
Okay.
I would have lost a bet. Holy shit.
Looks like somebody is getting hung on the wall with a death scythe.
Well, at least it's a death scythe and not a rivet gun.
Yeah. Alrighty, guys. So on to discussion of Dino Thunder. Who wants to start us off with the discussion of Dino Thunder? The history continues. Shit, and everything falls. Everything fell.
Well, You just
Said I can't have nice stuff.
You know, I can't have nice things either because I generally sit on all my good headphones. Well, true story, but I can stop that.
I'll start it off.
Yeah.
All right, so we have Connor and
Connor and Kira.
Yeah, Kira and what's his name? Blake, I think.
Ethan.
Ethan, yeah. Ethan. I am so underprepared for this.
Ha!
I had
And you're supposed to be the host with the most.
I am the host with the most.
No, you're not.
I'm stroking that ego. All right, so we have Ethan, Connor, and Kira, who we all know. Well, that was a different. All right, so basically, we got Jason David Frank returning as Tommy Oliver, who is the professor at Reefside High, which is where Dino Thunder takes place at. Then we have Emma Lahana, who plays Kira. Then we have James Napier Robertson, who's played Connor. And then we have Kevin Duhaney, I hope I pronounced that right, playing Ethan, the Blue Dino Thunder. Now, this is kind of tricky because a lot of these actors haven't had anything to do with the show after the show was over. They did come back for
the most part, they were also the first New Zealand cast as well.
And they did come back for SPD.
Yeah, and this was the first one that Disney fully did in New Zealand.
Right.
No, my bad. No, that's wrong. That's wrong. It's Ninja Storm. But
all right, and then so the story takes place with us, not Cell Tracks.
Mesogog.
Cell Tracks is, yeah, Megadon. Mesalog. There we go.
Mesogog.
Mesogog.
Mesogog. Please.
That's a no. That's a no.
Okay, Mesogog starts off with him, and he comes back, and he unleashes the 3 dinosaurs to attack Reefside City, and we get a bunch of action with that. Tommy gets captured. Tommy breaks free. The kids discover that Tommy has Professor Oliver, as he's called in the show, has a secret base underneath of his nice-ass house in
the middle of nowhere.
Right, where they go and find the Dino Gems. And the Dino Gems infuse themselves onto them, and then they go and fight the basically the bad guys of the show. What were they were something. I can't think of the name right now. But they were basically the henchmen for the show. They go and fight them. They find out they all have these powers. That was the start of the out-of-suit powers, basically.
Yeah.
Where I believe Ethan's skin gets rock hard, Kira can scream, and Connor was super fast.
Which super speed apparently has something to do with the Tyrannosaurus.
Right, because that was like the flash plan.
No, just super speed.
Right. And then we have, as the show goes on, they get more Zords and they're kicking ass like they normally do. And then we get an introduction of right underneath how badass the Thunder Ninja, the Ninja Thunder Rangers were. The badass Trent Mercer, who is a painter, but also is the evil white
Painter.
the evil white Dino Ranger.
He doesn't paint. He draws and sketches stuff like that.
Painter, drawer, same thing. He's an artist. Anyways, Trent deals with the inner struggles within himself. Once he finds out that he has a good side and an evil side, the evil side splits off from him, nearly kills him. Yes, behind the scenes, there was talks of actually killing Trent Mercer, like they did in the Ranger when Abba-Killa got killed because of his cancer. They was going to kill off the right Dino Ranger in this season. And he would have been the first and only Ranger to stay dead in this show. The only other time, and it's been filmed, the only other time that a Ranger was close to dying and then the script got rewrote because it was too dark was Quantum Ranger. The original ending to Time Force, when Eric and him, the Quantum Ranger, go head to head against all the Quantrons. He was supposed to die. Yeah, Eric was supposed to die, the Quantum Ranger. I keep messing that up. Eric was the Quantum Ranger. Anyways. So they get together, they defeat the evil side of Trent Mercer, and then they get together and defeat Mesogog. So does anybody else want to add on to this discussion of the Dino Thunder?
Well, aside from, as I said, it was a clone, not his evil side.
Yeah, that's true.
Man, for someone who's calling himself the host with the most, you're messing up quite a bit.
I kind of skimmed through Dino Thunder. It wasn't one of my all-time favorites.
I like it a bit. I know that I was expecting it to be boring. I know I almost had Ethan Blue, but it's not bad. It has a bit of funny moments. I really don't like the battleizer for it. I don't.
Oh yeah, that's the stretchy arms.
Yes, the stretchy arm and the stretchy legs. What does that have to do with dinosaurs? I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that's thrown in here that doesn't have to do with dinosaurs. I mean, the White Ranger being called the Draco Ranger, even though his Zord isn't anything close to a dragon. It's
right.
a pterodactyl.
That is true.
And also, the Brachiosaurus is kind of one of the most worthless Zords I have seen.
It is one of those that falls under. Now, see, that right there is a true definition of a carrier Zord.
But it did nothing else. It actually could attach to the Zord, but that was the toys. The Brachiosaur itself was like, okay, time to carry all these Zords, even though prior to the Brachiosaur, it just ran through town, probably killing millions of innocent civilians. Well, thousands of millions.
Oh, other than that, the other thing I wanted to mention, we would have had 6 Dino Rangers until Saban realized that the
Classic Ranger. They thought that was another Ranger.
Right.
But instead,
that was
upgraded form. With that,
yeah.
Battleizer.
That's not a battleizer. That's technically a super mode.
But
Battleizer, he has they have full plated armor.
I don't. SPD's Battleizer kind of like adds about as much as the Jurassic Ranger does.
No, because remember it has two modes. It has the mode with the real big shoulder pads and the bright chest up. That's one of the Battleizers. And the second mode was where he loses that, but he keeps the chest piece, and he gets something else. But he's still in a Battleizer. He has to use the dog in form, whereas the Triassic Ranger was just basically the little gold shoulder pads, and some of his suit changes color.
Hey Tyler,
That was basically it.
What's up?
Want to get on this?
No, I'm good. Good job, man.
All right, then we go on to the next topic, which is the discussion of how big the phenomenon of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers has come back full circle.
Well, that's not what I. Well, what I was suggesting to you, it's not that it came back full circle. It's that. How I phrase that? Nothing else really could like Power Rangers is kind of unique in that what it was like, how it was done, like Super Sentai. That you can actually just take some of the scenes of stock footage, and record live action scenes over in your own country, and have them go together. You really couldn't do that with any other type of show.
I mean, that's true. I mean, they've tried that. I mean, look at Big Bad Beetleborgs, and look at Kamen Rider Dragon. Oh, don't look at that one.
You regrets.
But that's actually from the same company that's made Saban, that made Power Rangers. Saban, Kamen Rider Dragon Knight, and Big Bad Beetleborgs came from Saban, as well as VR Troopers. And VR Troopers came out right during the hotness of season 2, where everybody was dying for Power Rangers, where I was stuck in LA traffic with everybody else getting to the convention center to get to see the Power Rangers, but I was stuck on the highway because the Power Rangers, as big as they were, blocked up the highway because everybody wanted to go see them. Do I hold a grudge? Never.
Oh, you hold grudges.
But yeah, I mean, all actuality,
The Sentai's like unique in that it was the only show that you really could do that with.
Not okay. Hold on. Not really.
Shit, Gundam's coming.
Not really. The reason being, you could do a whole lot of different shows like that during that time. Is because I actually sat down and watched. Like you said, you had VR Troopers, you had Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad, you had Big Bad Beetleborgs, you had Kamen Rider Dragon Knight, you had a lot. Matter of fact, you had Mystic Knights of Ten and Old. You had shows that could do this on that level. Like they were out there, they were all by Saban. Saban put forth the effort, but
they're the same type of show.
You're saying like they weren't the same type of shows?
Like I'm saying, but they are the same type. They're live actions, but with heavily costumed superhero scenes.
Yeah,
and that's what
I mean,
that's kind of what.
Okay, hold up.
And like, I didn't bring up Sentai, but also I mean, the stuff that with Sentai. I mean, like Kamen Rider. You can't do that with, let's say, a sitcom.
I mean, like, okay, you're saying, okay, how it was with like Kamen Rider stuff, you couldn't really do that with like a sitcom or something.
I'm saying like the process that we brought Sentai over made of Power Rangers, you couldn't do it with, let's say, an American sitcom to like France or Japan and have it make their own.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I mean, like technically, you could if you watch K dramas, like K dramas, basically, which kind of are like sitcoms, if you will.
But we would end up just either dubbing it over or completely recording our own stuff. It wouldn't be kind of like half and half the entire Power Rangers.
Okay, hold on. I'm not understanding. Maybe because it's kind of I guess my mic, but I'm not understanding. Say that again.
All right, what I'm saying, Sentai, we took stock footage and we recorded our own thing. So our Sentai, like our Power Rangers, is unique from the Sentai over in Japan. But if, let's say, we do a flip, Japan takes a sitcom over, and puts it over in there, they couldn't just on like Japan and then do something from the sitcom. It'd be, but I understand.
Eric, you're breaking out too much, man.
Yeah, you're kind of breaking up.
Well, basically saying it's time for Power Rangers to chop it up and make it our own unique thing, because whenever they're in suits, we just use Sentai. You had to go all or nothing for, as I said, an American sitcom to Japan. If they wanted to make it.
Oh, you saying you want to take an American sitcom, bring it over to Japan, and blend it with a Super Sentai?
No. I'm not saying I'm not saying as something I want to do. I'm saying as an example of how another type of TV show wouldn't be able to go through the same process as Sentai to Power Rangers.
Oh, okay.
Basically,
but they kind of do, because Kamen Rider is basically that. And when we tried to bring it over, that's why I was trying to get to earlier. We've brought over Kamen Rider before.
Yeah.
We've brought over Metal Heroes.
Yeah.
We've brought over Ultraman before. And we tried to do that already with different shows, but it never picked up like Power Rangers did, and it was all made by Saban. And that's what I was saying.
All right.
I mean, I know it's hard because you wasn't around during that time, but
yeah.
Literally we had shows out. I mean, am I not right, Melvin? I mean, we had shows just about.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
If I understand you, and I know other types of that existed.
You know, I'm saying if I make sure I understand,
hold on.
Yeah, if I make sure I understand you clearly, Eric, basically what you were trying to say is you're like, okay, how we brought Power Rangers over here and basically still kind of made it unique to us. They couldn't take a sitcom or something of that nature that was over here and take it over to Japan and make it unique to them. Actually, they can. It's an easy process. They did. Like some shows that went from over there, instead of them just dubbing how we do in anime, just like we just dub anime sometimes. They do the same thing. They make them unique. Like they have
the process we did with the Sentai. Use stock footage when use stock footage. Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have. They've actually done that. Like Japan's actually done that.
That is it's very, very, very hard to find. But there is a Full House Japanese version of Full House that every time they like introduce Uncle Jesse, it's stock footage from Full House when he's coming down the steps.
Oh wow. That
I ain't saying it was good. I'm just saying they've done it.
Yeah, they
even
took the old show called Blossom and kind of changed it up a little bit, but it still had stock footage of Blossom.
Yep.
So yeah.
All right, we're gonna move on from this confusing topic.
what?
All right, the next one and the last one is Oh, never mind. That was the whole that was all of it. So, with that being said,
I want to put something in here.
all right, go ahead, put something in here.
Since we want the like Sentai stuff and all that, I want to do a bit of a mid-season discussion of X-Aid. I know you're not fully caught up, Market, but I think you're caught up enough to do like a mid-season discussion about it.
About Kamen Rider X-Aid?
Yeah, because we're at the middle point. Like shit's getting heavy. Like shit's been getting heavy for a while. But I want to do like a full.
I want to hold off on that until I can get like caught up, because I want to give it justice. I just don't want to give to what I've reviewed, because what I viewed was episode 26 or 25, I can't remember. And I can't really say, well, this thing was, because wait until you watch the next episodes. You know what I'm saying? So I really can't, I want to hold off on that until until I can get caught up with you guys, or until the show is over with. Because I don't want to say, well, it started to fall off for me because this guy was doing this, and then everybody's like, well, just wait and watch episode 27 or 28. You are going to be super surprised.
Well, you kind of stopped watching Q Ranger because of Lucky, so.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, that right there. I don't even want to get into that. God, I literally, that is one of the only one of the only Super Sentai shows I have stopped watching because I cannot stand the Red Ranger. And it's to the point where I tried to watch the second episode, but I turned it off as soon as Lucky appears, because he gets on my nerves that bad. He's just, I can't stand Lucky. Alrighty, everybody. So, once again, we'll be at Epicon August the 19th. We will have our panel up, and we will be doing a Super Sentai versus Power Rangers at the end of it. So, be looking forward to that. We also have teams at tpublic.com/It's Morphin Time Podcast. Check that out. We also have, being sponsored by Nightmare Inc. We basically help you guys, and you guys help us out in the process. We produce just about everything, marketing, events, and I am messing this all up. But I am so tongue twisted. Melvin, take it away.
No. You did fine. You did fine. I just want to let you fail epically. No, I'll let you fail epically. Go ahead. Continue on. It's supposed to be the host with the most, but fail.
Okay. So, Nightmare Marketing and Events, we are here to market your events, promote your events, whatever you need to be done. This show is also produced by Magma Cleric Productions, your quality in productions. And Kamen Rider Star Blazer episode 1 is coming soon. I am the host with the most, the one and only, the true Magma Cleric. I make no mistakes on this show. Magma Cleric.
Just keep on stroking it. Just keep on stroking it.
Yep. Anyway, I am your host, Friendly Neighborhood Admin, aka Talos Gundam, as always, that guy. And take it away, Viking. Take it away.
And I am the Viking, the apprentice necromancer, the overcaffeinated one, Eric the Wild Red Ranger, and hopefully we will see you at Epicon, and we will see you at our next podcast.
And it's back to action, and may the power protect you.